Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here. The lab coat's on back order, and the day is finally here. The next chapter in the Pokemon TCG Epic Saga has arrived. Steam Siege is now available. Now, technically, the day arrived yesterday, but I wasn't able to record things in time for an upload yesterday. My day kind of went a little bit longer than expected, and by the time I got things recorded and edited and uploaded, it would have been too late to really have a nice, decent upload. But we are here today, the day after the official release of Steam Siege, and we're here to do my own kind of a style of almost like a pre-release tournament sort of a thing, and I'll explain what I mean when we get into the deck part, or the online part of the whole thing. I also had to download the new update for Pokemon TCG Online, and that took forever, and by the time it was downloaded, it was pretty close to midnight as it was, so that's why things are delayed until today. But before we get into anything with Pokemon TCG Online, I want to go over the names of the winners from last week's Pokemon TCG Steam Siege pre-release video, code card giveaway. I think I said all the words there. We had 10 booster packs of the Steam Siege expansion that I opened up, plus the 22 card pack, and we have the winners here. The winner of the 22 card pack was a viewer by the name of, now I'm going to pronounce so many names wrong, I'm sure, but Sahine Black, or Sahine Black, I'm not exactly sure, but they did get the 22 card pack, and the winners of the individual booster pack code cards were Unknown Spike, Bats Atatep, Juan Perez, Andres Ibra, Mojo193, Colin Petrie, Zach Thompson, Solrus, Cliff Jumper, and Benjamin Williamson. So, for anyone that might be watching this video that did win one of those packs, feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know if you got anything awesome out of the online packs that you got for that code card, as your name was randomly drawn for your response to the question of the day in last week's video. With all that being said, I want to crack into Pokemon TCG Online right now, see what cards I can get to work with on day, I guess technically day 2, but my first day of Steam Siege, and see how much fun we can have in the online matches, so let's begin. So here we are ready to kick off the Steam Siege expansion, our first Pokemon TCG Online video. My first order of business is going to be to go into the shop, because I'm going to do this as a sort of my own variation of a Pokemon pre-release tournament sort of a thing, in that I'm going to pick up 10 booster packs of the new set here. This is Steam Siege 10 card packs. I'm going to get 10 of those. I'm going to drop some tokens on these things. And we're going to do a bit of a pack opening first of all, and see what cards I get. I'm spending 2,000 tokens, but I've got about 8,000 some to work with, so we will confirm this, get 10 packs, and let's go right to the collection immediately and see what cool cards I get. The idea is, for my first video, I got an extra one here too. Now when you log in for the first time with this new update, you're going to get a special bonus pack of the Steam Siege booster pack, so I'm going to have 110 cards to work with. And I'm going to see if I can put together a deck using just the cards that we get in these videos, or sorry, this video out of these packs, and see if I'm going to be able to get some cool wins, put together a really neat strategy as we wait while they build the pack. And apologies if things are a little bit lagged and delayed, unfortunately. Sometimes my internet doesn't like to work properly. But if there is excessive delay, I will kind of edit things out and get us to the footage that you guys want to see, these pack openings, and see what rare cards and what possible dual-type Pokemon I can pick up in the expansion. So, looks like I'll be right back as the packs are prepared to open. So nearly 5 minutes later, the first pack is finally finished. I hope they don't all take that long, because that's going to be a lot of editing. But anyway, let's get right into it now. See what pack number 1 has to offer us of the Steam Siege expansion. Now, we saw a lot of these, I'm sure, during the pre-release video. Those all look pretty common. Rufflet, I haven't seen that yet, but we have 2 special charges in this set, or this pack, and we have the rare card. It's going to be an Avalugg, which could be one of those mill decks I was talking about, with the Melting Flow. Alright, let's open up another and see how long this one takes to prepare. Seems to be a little bit faster than the last one. Let's give it a few moments before I have to go and do some editing afterwards. And it slowly creeps along, so I'll be back in a moment. Alright, pack number 2 is nearing completion. I wonder if it's because this is the newer set and everyone's trying to get these cards. Maybe that's why it's taking a little while. So we see all our commons, Braviary, Nuzleaf, Rapidash. We have a shiny Jolt, sorry, not shiny, but reverse foil Joltik. And the rare card is going to be Hydreigon. Cruel Fang for 2 colorless does 40. During your opponent's next turn, any damage done by attacks from the defending Pokemon is reduced by 40. Dark Burn for Psychic, Darkness, and colorless 50 times. Discard as many Darkness energy attached to your Pokemon as you like. This does 50 damage times the amount of Darkness energy you discarded. Alright, that could be handy, but I gotta evolve up into it. I did get a Dano in this pack though, so let's open another and see how long this one's gonna take us. Looks like it's a little bit faster than the last ones. I guess each pack that I open is gonna be a little bit quicker. This could be a quick edit, but I will be back in just a moment. So this one only took about a minute. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I guess it's probably downloading all the card images to show me what I've gotten in this pack. So here we see our commons. We have the Captivating Pokepuff, a Steelix Spirit Link. We got 2 rare cards this time. The reverse foil, get out of there, Apom, is not reverse foil at all, but Yveltal Break, which I could make good use of. And the rare in the pack is going to be a Samurott with the Ultimate Blade, which I'm really looking forward to giving a try. If I can bring the opponent down to 60 HP or less, I knock them out with that attack. Alright, let's open another pack and see how quick will this one go. There we go. Alright, now we're starting to move. This is pack number 4, I believe we're opening, of our commons. I have Duat, and there's the Klefki with the Wonderlock. We're going to have a Clawitzer Break. Alright, got a couple of breaks so far. Rare card is going to be a Dual-type Shiny Shiftry. So we're getting some options for what we can work with for our first deck. This is pack 5. We're almost halfway through. We got our common cards, of course. Reverse foil Meowth, and this rare is going to be an Armaldo. What can you do? Rushing Water does 40, and movement energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to a benched one. That's good if you're going to move special energy, for example, a strong energy from a fighting type. If you move it to a non-fighting type, that discards it, because strong energy can only be attached to fighting Pokemon. Guard Claw does 100, and during your opponent's next turn, any damage done to this Pokemon is reduced by 30. Alright, let's open up another. So this should be pack 6, I believe. So what do we find for our uncommons and the rares? Steelix Spirit Link. We have a possible break. Nope, but we have reverse foil Armaldo. And the rare card is going to be a Yanmega, not the promo card. Sonic Vision, so if I have exactly 4 cards in hand, ignore all energy requirements in the attacks of this Pokemon. Assault Boom can do 50, and if we attach a tool to the opposing Pokemon, 70 more damage in addition to the basic 50. Alright, so this is pack 6, 7. I can't even remember. Anyway, we're seeing the cards now. We have ourselves Reverse Foil Sneasel, and rare card is going to be a Gastrodon. Sticky Shot does 20. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon's attacks cost 1 colorless more, and its retreat cost is 1 colorless more. Okay. Water Pulse does 60 and puts the opponent to sleep. Let's see what we get out of the next pack. We have 4 more to go. This is the 4th of the last ones. The first of the last 4, I guess I should say. Palucha, what do you have? Sudden Cyclone. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to the bench, you may have your opponent switch the active Pokemon with a bench Pokemon. Alright, we have a Ninja Boy. Now, as I loaded up the game, Ninja Boy is currently suspended, unfortunately, because there's a bit of a game bug going on, so we can't make use of him in this particular video. But rare card we can make use of will be, possibly, a Kling Clang. Heavy Bumper. Any damage done to this Pokemon by an opponent's attack is reduced by 10 for each colorless in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost. So the heavier they are, the less damage they'll do to Kling Clang. And Gear Spinner does 70. During your next turn, this Pokemon's Gear Spinner does 70 more damage, so 140 on the second and each successive turn you use that attack. So let's open another one. We got 3 more to go here. Want to see some really awesome stuff? We find a Pokemon Ranger, Greedy Dice, and possible break. No, but a reverse foil, rare Hoopa, Hyperspace Punch, and Portal Strike. And the other rare is going to be another Yanmega. So I might want to try for the Yanmega since we have a lot of these, but we'll see what we get. I do have some Break Evolutions, but I kind of want to wait and show off a fully fledged deck strategy using Break Evolutions as my usual routine on the channel goes. We have a Shieldon for a fossil Pokemon, reverse foil Mareep. Rare card is a Toxicroak. Poison Enzyme. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's poison Pokemon. If I can get things in place such as Ariados from a previous expansion, poison the opponent, Toxicroak will be immune to that. Of course, I would poison my own Pokemon, but if I can go for a Pokemon Center Lady or Sparkling Robe, we can prevent that poison, of course. The next to last pack, I believe this is. We get our commons out of the way, a couple of uncommons. We have a shiny Azumarill. One special rare card is going to be a Talonflame. Very nice. I might want to put that in just to see if I can get it to work with the Gale Wings. If it's in my opening hand, I can choose that as my active Pokemon. Rare card is going to be Ampharos. I want to make use of you at some point. I'm trying to think of how to make my what am I trying to say? My main standard decks that I have, or not standard, but my main focus decks into the standard format as it rotates out. And I have the Gengar, Greninja, Water Shuriken, Creepshow combo. And once the standard format rotates, that Greninja is no longer standard. But if I can get Ampharos here, that can put 3 damage counters on opposing Pokemon EX, which will then get the Creepshow to get a knockout from Gengar. Alright, last pack I believe this is. Wait, I guess that was the last pack. Okay, so I'm not going to get any more. Let's go to the collection. Just to make sure I open up all the packs. I believe I did. Yep, packs are already open. So I'm now going to take some time and put together a deck using the cards that I just opened up, and I'll come back and show you what I have for a deck strategy and talk you through the idea, and then we'll get into some matches. So here's what I put together for my first of the Steam Siege expansion Pokemon TCG Online deck strategy idea things. What I'm trying to say is, let's look at the cards. Alright, so I only wanted to use newer Pokemon, so I didn't have all the complete evolutionary change for some of them, but I decided to go with the ones that came out of these booster packs. I wanted to see if we can happen to start with Talonflame using the Gale Wings ability. If it's in my opening hand, I can play that as a Stage 2 Pokemon as my active Pokemon. I don't need to evolve up into it. I did have the Fletchling and Fletchinder in the packs that I opened up, but I thought, you know what, I want to save space for other Pokemon, so I'm going to see if we can get this to work. So if we don't have it in our opening hand, this is basically going to be Ultra Ball fodder because we can't play that into the evolutionary chain to get it into play. Anyway, but if we can start with it, Arrow Blitz does 40 damage for 1 energy. Search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterward. You can just choose any 2 cards you want. And it has free retreat as well, so I can bring it back to the bench and bring something else up. So let's see, we're going to have a couple of C-Dot here in the deck. I got 2 of these guys. Got 2 Nuzleaf to evolve up into, and I wanted to see if we can get some of these dual-type Pokemon in play. So we're going to put in that Shiftry that we did draw. Has 140 HP. It's a Grass and Darkness type. Wicked Wind for Grass Energy does 40, and until the end of the opponent's next turn, each Stadium and Tool card in play, plus ones that come into play, have no effect. Extra Sensory for 2 energy does 60 plus. If you have the same number of cards in your hand as the opponent, this does 60 more damage, so double damage if I have the same number of cards. You'll see I put a couple of trainers in here that are going to try to help me get the same number of cards in hand. We also have a Marill with a simple Bubble Drain. With the dual-type Azumarill, shiny, nice and yellow. Fairy and Water is going to have Play Rough for an attack for 2 energy, 30 plus. Flip a coin if heads, 30 more. For 2 Fairy and a colorless, Bubble Drain does 80, heal 30 from this Pokemon. I've got 1 of those. I've got 3 Oshawott in the deck with Water Gun, 2 Duat with Razor Shell, and the Ultimate Blade of Samurott. So with a Water and colorless, Ultimate Blade does 40. If the damage from this attack reduces your opponent's active Pokemon's HP to 60 or less, that Pokemon's knocked out. You'll see I put a couple of Muscle Bands in the deck to try to power this up a little bit, and hopefully we can get some KOs using the effect of the Ultimate Blade. Pike itself does 90 plus 30 to a bench Pokemon, so if we're fighting an EX, we could do 90 with Pike, and then next turn try the Ultimate Blade. That might be enough to bring it down using the effect of the Ultimate Blade. So we got 1 Samurott, I've got a couple Shellos in the deck with Rain Splash, and 1 Gastrodon with Sticky Shot for 20. We already looked at this. We can slow them down basically and make them have to use more energy, and Water Pulse for 60 damage can put them to sleep. And I think that's all we have for Pokemon. Now we're going to scroll down quickly to the energy. I'm just going with basic energy for this week. I'm not going to put any special energy in. We didn't get any special energy from these packs anyway. I got 4 basic Fairy, 3 basic Grass, and what is that? 7 basic Water energy, rounding up the energy at 14 in total. Now let's look at the trainer cards. I used all the trainers that I can really make use of from these new packs, but I had to splice in some older ones from previous sets that are still standard, fortunately. I got a Captivating Pokepuff. Not really sure if we're going to make use of that unless we possibly have Joltik to hit with a Pike, but the Captivating Pokepuff, your opponent reveals his or her hand and put any number of basic Pokemon you find there onto their bench. So we could put some low HP Pokemon down if we want to. Had a couple of Dive Balls. Got 2 in here. I got 2 Energy Retrievals. I've got 1 Greedy Dice just to see if it works out. This is not going to be a competitive week, of course. This is just me having fun with all these new cards. So if Greedy Dice happens to be a face-down prize card and I take it, I can flip a coin. If heads, I take an additional prize card. So the odds are not good, like 1 in 60, that any one of those cards is going to be the Greedy Dice, but you never know, it might happen. And I've got 2 level balls to help find some lower HP Pokemon of 90 HP or less, 2 Professor's Letters to find 2 basic energy from the deck, 2 Ultra Balls, and I say this all the time, a Professor's Letter lets me draw 2 basic energy. I can play the Ultra Ball, discard 2 cards from hand, being the basic energy, find a Pokemon. On the following turn, I can play the Energy Retrieval, on that same turn, following in that turn, play this and get those 2 basic energy back into hand. So you burn through a number of trainer cards, but you gain 2 energy and 1 Pokemon in the process. So I've got a couple of Versus Seekers as well to bring back some of the supporters, and one way we're going to try to get the same number of cards in hand to make use of the extra sensory of shiny Shiftry, I have Battle Reporter. Draw cards until you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent. That's pretty simple. Another way we're going to do that is we're going to skip past Bridget for a second. Judge. Both players shuffle their hands into the deck, and each player draws 4 cards. That's 2 ways we can try to get 120 damage with our dual type shiny Shiftry. I've got Bridget in here. Search your deck for 1 basic Pokemon EX. Forget that, we have none. Or 3 basic non-EXs and put them right onto the bench. Helps thin the deck a little bit and speed up the game a little bit for your draw support. I've got a Lysandre, because you always have to have at least 1 Lysandre. Maneuvering the opponent's Pokemon around to go for some quick KOs is a definite good way to go. I have a Pokemon Center Lady to heal up 60 damage and special conditions from my team. I'm including the Pokemon Ranger. Not sure if it's really going to make much use in this particular battle or anything, but we're going to see. Remove all effects of attacks on each player and his or her Pokemon. Now, I am fairly certain that does not include damage. There was a question about that during the pre-release at one of the matches in the tournament, and a player was using it to heal damage. I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. It doesn't say including damage, so therefore I believe it's only effects such as we had an instance where Yveltal used Darkness Blade. It says flip a coin if tails, this Pokemon can't use Darkness Blade next turn, or can't attack next turn, either way. Playing Pokemon Ranger eliminates that effect, so that way you can still attack on that following turn, even if you flip tails. I've got 2 Skylas in the deck to find whatever trainer card I need and put that into play perhaps. Wally is here to help evolve your Pokemon up. Did I put Evo Soda in here? I did not. But I have other ways to find Pokemon cards if I need them. In case we can get the Seedot, Nuzleaf, and Shiftry cards in hand, I got 2 Forests of Giant Plants. Play that down, and each player's grass Pokemon can evolve during the very first turn that they are put into play, and on the player's first turn as well, so that could come in handy. I do have a training center as well, since I'm going to have a lot of evolutions. Each Stage 1 and Stage 2 Pokemon in play on both sides gets plus 30 HP, which could help us out. And the last card is going to be a couple of Muscle Bands. I want to power up the Ultimate Blade a little bit more, plus just get some more damage off across the board using the Muscle Bands, adding 20 damage to the attacks of whatever Pokemon is holding that item. So therefore, we have 18 Pokemon, 28 trainer cards, 14 energy cards. This is the first of the Steam Siege deck strategies. Kind of a rough strategy, not a lot of super thought put into it, but it's going to be fun and see if we get some wins. So let's get into some matches right now and see how well we do. Alright, here we go. First opponent versus my Steam Siege deck is the Golden Fox. Nice golden hair you got there. Alright, so apparently we have the advantage, even though I haven't used this deck yet. I guess the game just knows what a good build it is. So let's go for the coin flip. Let's call the head side, of course. Get the nice fancy side of heads, and we get those nice water drops. Wait a minute. We got tails. Oh wait, so the Golden Fox chose to take the first turn. What do we start with? We have 1 basic in hand, but I do have Skyla. I can use her to find Bridget, as long as we can survive a turn. If not, I'm going to go ahead and play Skyla to find a level ball or something along those lines. So let's see what the Golden Fox leads off with. I didn't take a close look at what the energy types were for this particular opponent's deck, but hopefully it's nothing that's going to one-shot us. It is not a steel type, which is good, or metal type. So the most it can do is 60 if it gets a double colorless, which is going to be enough to bring us down. And there's the greedy dice. That's Ultra Ball fodder. In fact, given that, I could probably just go for the Ultra Ball. I could judge right now, though. But first, I want to play Skyla. I'm going to take a chance that they're not going to be able to one-shot Meryl. And let's go ahead and grab Bridget, wherever she might happen to be. Here we go. So into hand, but there's really nothing else I can play, I don't think. Well, I could play the Versus Seeker now, but no, we're going to end the turn. I have no energy, but I can play Skyla later to get a Professor's Letter, of course. So do they have a double colorless to hit us with the Twister Throw? Otherwise, they're just going to do push down for 20, and they can't switch us, of course, there's no bench Pokemon. Push us down for 20, okay. So now I can go ahead and play the Bridget. It's going to help thin the deck a little bit, speed things up for me. And we see we have Duat and Nuzleaf in hand, so I want to definitely grab an Oshawott and a Seedot. Did I have any other basics? I do have Shellos. Let's go ahead and get one of each of my basics in play. And that was it, I believe? Yeah, so since we didn't start with the Talonflame in hand, that is also going to be Ultra Ball fodder. And still no energy, so we're going to end the turn. Now, they can knock out our Meryl in a single hit. But if I can get 1 Grass Energy on Nuzleaf, I can bring up the Seedot next, and as long as I can't get the same number of cards in hand, then we're going to be immune thanks to the Harden. So that's going to be the way to go. Bring up the Seedot. I am going to evolve to Nuzleaf. I'm going to play Skyla to find myself a Professor's Letter. Never mind, I got the Grass Energy right there. So we're going to go into Nuzleaf. But I might want to get the letter anyhow. So here's my idea. First I can evolve, of course, into Duat. We're going to play Skyla. I want to get another energy in hand to start powering up for the eventual, hopefully, extra sensory for our Shiftry. Let's go ahead and play out that Professor's Letter. Grab ourselves 2 more energy. I'm going to grab 2 water, I think. 2 of our nice Generation back water energy. Can't play one on this turn, of course. But we can go ahead and harden away. So as long as they can't play 2 cards out during this next turn, they're not going to do enough damage to bring down Nuzleaf. Watch them do just that, though. That is possible. If they can get themselves down to the same number of cards in hand, which is why I didn't want to play the Judge yet, they could do Twister Throw for 60 plus 60 more, and play one more. I dare you, play one more card. Yes! Alright, so as long as they can't get another card in hand, they can't do the additional damage of Twister Throw. Just a simple push down. Alright, so who has the easiest retreat cost? I'm going to say Duat. Well, it doesn't, but I'm going to let Duat take a hit. So, now, I can Wally into either Pokemon. I'm going to leave Duat there just to take the damage. And we're going to go ahead and Wally up into our shiny Shiftry. There he is. Sorry, that was Samurott. We need Shiftry in play, folks. There we go. Our first dual type of Steam Siege is in play. We have enough energy in hand to be able to go ahead and use the extra sensory. Can I make use of any supporters this turn? I already used Wally. Do I want to bring any back? I'm going to use the Versus Seeker to bring Skyla back. But I believe on the next turn my plan is going to be just to go ahead and use Judge to do the additional damage of extra sensory. So you can go ahead and push me down if you want. You can go play a card and go for Twister Throw and go for the KO as well, but I'm going to take this Tornadus down on my next turn once I play that Judge. So what do you got for us, Tornadus? Unless I go for a basic 60 damage Twister Throw, which could slow things down a little bit for us, but nope. They just go for the massive damage 120, and we do have the same number of cards in hand. Now we are going to draw one card to start the turn. Let's see what I happen to get. I want to use Judge, of course. We have Lysandre. Just to minimize the amount of energy that we're going to be drawing back with Judge, I'm going to play a Water Energy to Shellos, and now we're going to play Judge. So we both shuffle in, going to draw 4 cards. I might not want to play anything, because of course, yeah, if I were to play something, I'd be 1 card less. I could just play the Level Ball to get a Pokemon out. I'm going to do that just to thin the deck 1 more card. And which one do I want to get? Nuzleaf, we got Oshawott. Marill hasn't done anything yet. Let's get Marill in here. Technically, neither has Oshawott or Duat, of course, but I'm not going to play anything. I'm going to go for the extra sensory, doing 120. Bam! Down goes the Tornadus. So all that's left is Cresselia, which is powered up to start launching some attacks. Let's see what they have to work with. It is Moonlight gains 70 damage and heal 20 from this Pokemon. It's weak to Psychic, so we can't get any super effective damage off on that. It's going to do half HP damage to us, but I do have that Training Center. I can play that and heal up. But I can just one-shot this thing as well. It only has 110. So as long as I can get the right number of cards in hand, well, we can easily retreat. So as long as I can get the right number of cards in play, or in my hand, I can do the 120 with the Shiftry. I think we might have this. I do have many options of cards I can play out. So what do you have to work for you? You got another energy attached, Darkness. I'm going to do the 70. That just basically knocks me out. And that brings up the Shiftry right away. So I got to play out 3 cards from hand, I believe that is. No, 2 cards. So 1 card, of course, I'm going to drop the Training Center. And I'm just going to drop a Marill. And I'm going to extra sensory. So long, Cresselia. And that was match number 1. But I want to see if we can get a second match and show off some more of these Pokemon. So let's finish up with this one as we claim the victory and see what match number 2... Oh, I got a Fates Collide. And yes, that's cool. Dual typing. You can get more of your daily challenges done because you have 2 Pokemon... Or sorry, a Pokemon with 2 types in play. Let's go for another match. Alright, my next opponent with the first Steam Siege deck, Pringles Lays. Is that like Pringles and Lays combined? And there was a lot of types in that deck from the looks of it. I saw a Fighting, I think, a Colorless, maybe a Metal. And they call for heads. They get heads. Alright, and they do take the first turn. But at least we got the nice fancy Blastoise card sleeves here. So we have an Oshawott, an Ultra Ball. So we can get some more Pokemon in play. This might be the time we get to see Samurott get some action. Alright, so what do they start with? I'm going to lead off with a Fire type. Okay, nice and Charizard here. We can't do any damage until we get... Okay, hang on. So, Ultimate Blade will do 40 times 2, so 80. Not quite enough to bring the Charizard down to 60 HP remaining, unless... If we can find a Muscle Band, our Samurott will be able to KO the Charizard with a single hit. So there we see a Pokemon Center lady. Alright, so I got some tools attached. We have the Healing Scarf, we have the Bent Spoon on that. There is a Dive Ball. Let's play that and grab ourselves a Samurott. Don't tell me it's not here. There it is, okay. Good old Samurott. So if we're lucky, I'm going to be able to power up for the Ultimate Blade. Let's attach a Water Energy to Oshawott. I'm going to thin out my deck with a couple of basic energy. I'm going to grab another Water. I'm going to grab 2 Water. Because my plan is to play Ultra Ball and throw some of these cards out. So let's go ahead and get rid of the Fairy Energy and one of the Generations Water. I hate losing the Generation Water Energy because it's so special, but you know, gotta work with what we have. So what is the next best Pokemon? They have Altaria, which is weak to electric. It evolves into something weak to metal, so we can't really make use of that. Let's just go with the Bide of Seedot. I'm gonna bench that one. Now, as long as I can't flip heads on Stoke, we'll be kind of okay. But just watch, I bet they're gonna get that heads. Just a Great Ball and Random Receiver in the discard. They're going for Great Ball again, and off the top 7, find which Pokemon this time? Going to be a Fennekin. We're probably going to see the Psystorm of Delphox in this particular battle, and possibly Break Evolution as well. But if we can hold out and get some good damage off, they failed the Stoke. Alright, that's what we needed. Let's go ahead and evolve up into Duot. Attach an energy to it. On the next turn, I can play the Judge after we get Samurott into play. Let's go for the Razor Shell of at least 60, but possibly 100 damage. Yes! 100 damage, which means the next turn, Samurott is going to get the KO on this EX. Come on, let's do this. Pokemon Center leader, that is fine. You're going to heal that much up. So how much will we do? We're going to do 80 with the Ultimate Blade. If you attach... They didn't attach energy to the Charizard. They didn't get the Healing Scarf. So doing 80... 120. That's going to bring it down to 60 remaining. Alright, let's do that. Evolve into Samurott. We're going to play out the Forest of Giant Plants in case we find a Nuzleaf in hand after the Judge. Now, it's going to give them 4 cards. I'm okay with that. I kind of need more cards myself. We have a couple of Shellos, and the Greedy Dice is in hand, so we can't make use of that, of course. Now, if I did the math right, this should be a KO. Down it goes. Alright, 2 prizes are claimed. Not bad, Samurott. Another Oshawott there as well. So this can do 30 plus 60 more if it does heal, but it's not damaged yet, so that's good. It can only do 30 damage to us. But we can't do too much to it in response. So what I want to do next turn is play out all my basic Pokemon and then play that Battle Reporter. See if we can find some more useful cards. If I can get another energy and use Pike, I can at least start hitting the bench. There's the energy. Alright, so let's play the Seedot, drop a Shellos, and another Oshawott. Put this energy onto the Samurott, of course, and go for the Battle Reporter. 4 more cards being drawn. We find another Oshawott here, another energy, and I already used a supporter, but I could bring Judge back next turn with that Versus Seeker. But let's just go for the Pike attack, doing 90, and let's hit, I think probably the bigger threat is going to be eventually the Fennekin. Now, they can heal this, of course, which is going to do a lot more damage. Going to do 90, which we will survive. Yeah, there's the healing. Well, not healing, but wait. No, they have to use a healing card. Okay, and there's a Metal Lucario with Fight Alone. So putting all these basics to the bench might not have been the best play, but we're going to work with it. So 80 damage done to us, Shining Wind. No weakness on this Altaria this turn. And it's got 90. I can knock it out with another hit, but first of all, let's heal up Samurott. And put this onto one of the Seedot. Go for a Level Ball and find a Nuzleaf. Wherever it might happen to be sitting. There we go. If we can get Shiny Shiftry back in play, that'd be kind of cool. Not that it's going to be super effective. In fact, it's going to be weak to the fire. But we can get 2 KOs here, which is what they're probably waiting for. But I'm going to go for it. Pike and take down the Fennekin as well. Boom, boom. We're getting 3 more prizes for that. We only got 1 prize left to take. I'm liking this. So there's 2 for the Pokemon EX we knocked out. There's the Shiftry. Glad I drew that one, because if I went looking for it through the deck, it wouldn't be there. So, last thing is Lucario with 110. You know what? You're welcome to bring me down if you have the ability to do so, which you don't. And here's what we're going to do. I got the game in the bag. We're going to evolve into Shiftry. We're going to throw it in energy. We will retreat the Samurott for the 2 energy required. And we're going to use the Versus Seeker and find Judge. We're going to play that Judge. Both players shuffle down to have the same amount of cards in hand. Therefore, Extra Sensory is going to get the boosted damage of 60 more, 120 total. You do not resist us, fortunately. We're not psychic. And go for the Extra Sensory KO. And that should do it. Boom. Last prize is taken. This is kind of cool. I like the way this deck flowed pretty quickly. And I only threw it together like in maybe 5-10 minutes. But anyway, that being said, you see some power of some of these new cards and mixed in with some older cards. I like Steam Siege. Can't wait to see what other ideas I can come up with as we get Fade to Black boosted up a little bit there. Alrighty. So that's going to be it for this week's Pokemon TCG Live Online match, our first of the Steam Siege expansion Pokemon TCG Online matches. And as we get further into these, I want to show off some more of the cards. My personal preference is, of course, to show off Break Evolutions. So if you have any requests for any Break Evolutions you want to see for next week's video, leave me a comment down below and let me know which ones you want to see. We see them all here. There is Clawitzer Break, Hydreigon Break, Pyroar Break, Talonflame Break, we have Xerneas Break, Yanmega Break, and Yveltal Break. I don't even know what half of these things do yet, but if you guys want to see anyone in particular, like I say, leave a comment, let me know which ones you want to see, and I'll see if I can get my hands, or my virtual hands, on some copies of these cards for next week's video and put together a kind of cool strategy, something maybe that might not be expected, because my personal preference is look at something that the Pokemon can do and think of something that maybe other people might not immediately think of and work with that. It might throw a lot of people off their game, not expecting the crazy kooky strategies that I come up with. But if you do want to see any particular other cards, such as, for example, I don't know, Pokemon EX, let me know which ones you do want to see. There are a lot in this set. Look at this secret rare Gardevoir. Nice. But if you want to see any particular Pokemon EX cards, I am certainly not opposed to showing those off as well. Just leave that in a comment, and whichever card gets the most interest in it for next week, I will put together a deck using these cards. And I like how Magearna is represented in the TCG now, too. It's not even technically in the video games yet. The movie hasn't even come out yet, I don't think, but it currently exists as a Pokemon TCG card, which is cool. So any card you want to see, even if it's like show off a particular kind of a trainer card, for example, whatever you want to see, let me know, leave a comment, and I will see if I can put together some cool ideas for next week. And feel free to leave a comment below, let me know what you thought of the matches today. I mean, I kind of did pretty good for just the first 2 matches I played of just like random sort of assortment of what I happened to get out of 11 packs, and it was fun. Alright, I want to say thank you for checking out today's Pokemon TCG Live Online match, the first of the Steam Siege. With that, I'm going to sign off, get ready to record Pokemon Silver for the day as well. So once again, thanks for checking out the video, and Professor Chaz signing off. I'll catch you next time.